episode of Webe Reptiles. Today's episode is going to be about how to care for a silky. Now, there are many ways. What I'm going to do today is show you how I take care of mine. What I do to moisturize them and keep them, fresh. So they're, see how she has her shed popping off? It's already cracking pretty good. See how the tail, I've cleared a little bit of it, but you can kind of see where it's already been breaking up and breaking free, so that way whenever she does completely shed, it'll shed out nice. See, looks horrible, but in reality that's actually really good. See how the joints have cracked on the elbow and by the armpit and back here by the knee and over by the tail base? That's a good sign. See, Chance right here, she's already through her shed, unfortunately, so you're not gonna really get to see her, but she still gets a soaking anyways because she'll have a little bit left over. Oh, don't go down there, mommy. A little bit left over on her tail. So like I said, all I do to get that to come off is I add this aloe, lily of the desert aloe gel. It is an edible gel that you could use with almost every reptile that has a shedding problem. Not problem, but goes through shed and requires a little assistance with it. Silkies will need assistance, not like your normal bearded dragons that don't really require any kind of assistance because their scales, what it is their scales are strong, they're hard, dense. So when they go through a shed, what happens is their hard scales will eventually just crack the shed off, and they will have no problems getting it off. But with silkies, they have no scalation, so they have nothing to really take the shed and crack it off their skin so it stays dense and hard on their skin. And if there's nothing to help, you have a chance of losing a tip of your tail, or even the whole tail, depending on how far back the pinch is at. They can lose toenails, they can lose little feet, everything. So you really want to use a lot of moisturizing as far as this, is my opinion. Now, there are other methods. You could do lotion every day or every other day or whenever they're in shed. And you can use, my favorite lotion to use, if I am going to use lotion, I would use Utterly Cream. It's all natural. Basically, it's used for, not that specific brand, but they say it's called Utterly Cream because it's used for cow udders. And the reason they use them for cow udders is because, when the calves are always milking on them, they usually tear the skin up pretty well. So when they put that lotion on it, the calves can still drink from the tit, and then it's not going to hurt them, give them any kind of chemicals that's going to cause them harm internally. So you want to use stuff that is all natural. Look at your ingredients when you do use stuff. See how it says the natural creators? And it's a good supplement. This right there, all together, putting it into your water before bathing your animals, any animal, is a real good use because it's see how it says dietary supplement, whole leaf, filtered. Try to make sure that when you do buy this stuff, they have different kinds. They have whole leaf, inner leaf. You want to use the whole leaf. They have the most nutrition, the most, it's got a good balance of gel to it, so it's going to cause it more, give it more lubrication to the scales. I buy this by the gallon. It costs like 27 bucks or something like that. You can get it at GNC or any health nutrition stores. I was recently told that you can get it at Walmart, but I never found it. I guess I wasn't looking in the right department, but if you guys can find it, hey, more power to you, get it. But like I said, what I do is I start off by running a warm water, a little puddle of warm water, and then I just add a little bit of the gel. And when I add the gel, just mix it around a little, so that way it's all over the water. It's not just in one glop. But you'll see the water will turn a little color, almost like a dirty. But that's good because that means you got a good concentration of it. So you just stick your babies in there. And typically, they love the taste of it, so they'll immediately start drinking, like she does. She just does it. That's another thing also. Trans babies and trans beardies in general, they require a little more hydration than normal. I have no idea why in general they do, but I think it's because of the trans genetics. It's just so weak that it draws out a lot of their hydration and stuff because of the solid black eyes and the lack of density inside their scales and their skin, because that's why they make them translucent. But you basically, like I said, you keep them in here and you let them sit for a good 10-15 minutes, 15, 10 minimum, 10 minimum, 15 is good. 20 is, just letting them relax. But, get them in there, see how she's taking a nice little sip. It's good for them to drink this, because that way, if you do, it will actually help, because that way they'll get it through their pores from the inside out. Also, as you see, it says right here, once you've opened this product, please make sure you refrigerate it so it doesn't go bad or anything like that, because it's still like a food, This is something that should be is edible. So what people use this typically is they add it to their smoothies or shakes like that to add more nutrition and boost of stuff like that. So when we add it to their water and they drink it, it does the same thing for them. Gives them more additives and nutrients and stuff like that. And that's how my silkies, they bust out. Like, they come out so smooth. I've never once used lotion. I'm not saying that you can't use lotion. I typically don't like to, because of the fact that it causes them to basically require the lotion more often. And if they don't have it, they start to dry out faster, and it's just a pain in the ass. So, you want to just keep it to the lotion, the aloe gel if you can. I mean, if you see that your beardy needs a little more help with shedding, then yeah, I would suggest you go ahead and just add a little lotion to their systems. You can use cocoa butter lotion, or like I said, the Utterly cream. Try to make sure you use whatever you find it's got the least amount of chemicals and is not harmful to animals. Yeah. Also, with silkies, because of the lack of scalation and no scalation at all, you can't really use a pure 10.0 UVB. I personally do, only because I haven't had a bad result, but I'm not going to give you that advice, because I have seen some get burned from the UV, because being that they have no scalation, they have nothing really to protect them from that deep 10.0 UV. And because I do use actually high quality UVs, the 10.0 is actually through the whole light, and it's thorough. So what could cause is they could get sunburns. What would look like, it'll look like blisters, like they've been in the sun for too long. But what I do is I offer them just something to hide, give them a little dome or a little cave or something like that. So that way that if they do decide that they're in the sun for too long, they'll just go and hide and stay away from the sunlight. So you could go down to a 5.0. It's not harmful. It's actually what people suggest. I personally don't suggest the 5.0. I always like using 10.0, because the more UV, the better they'll grow. The stronger they'll grow, and the healthier they are. But like I said, if you do decide to use the 10.0 with them, just offer them somewhere to hide, so that if they do need to hide from the UV because they've just gotten enough for the day, they have somewhere to hide. These guys here have been doing really well. I got Chance, and she was just, poor little thing was scrawny. She was just really hungry. She wasn't really hurt or nothing. Unfortunately, she was on sand, but luckily I got her off the sand, so she's doing a million times better now. And Naughty down here, she's a special one. This one came from my little sister over at Naughty Dragons, Donnie Ferrari. She's got some gorgeous animals, and she just asked me to find somebody that would want her, and I said, well, guess what? I want her. So Naughty's staying with me. She'll stay in the family forever. She's just too adorable. Look at that face. Look at that little face. And she has such a deep trans that you could see through her everywhere. But yeah, guys, that's it. It's a quick update, show you guys how to care for your silky so you don't have to be so afraid. And they're really not that much work like people try to say they are. They just need a little extra attention. If you're already used to giving your beardy baths every day, it's about the same thing. The only thing is you just got to add a little bit of the aloe gel to their water. It's just additives, It's just a little extra care. That's all it is. It's not like it's like, oh my God, you have to be careful all the time, and oh no. If you use this gel, I've had a pretty good result with it, and I haven't had an issue with, shed getting tight and cutting off circulation to extremities on her body and stuff. So luckily I haven't had that problem. Not to say that I haven't helped the shed now. If I do see a little bit of shed on the tail that seems like it's not going, I'll give it a little soaking as well. And then as I'm soaking, I rub it softly with my finger. No rags, no nothing, because their skin is very, very delicate. If you use anything to help the skin come off or the shed come off, you have a great possibility of ripping the skin. If you rip the skin, they can dehydrate and they can die. So be very careful. Try your hardest, and I know it hurts to say this, but don't help. Do not assist in shedding unless it's critical and they're gonna lose a toe or a foot or a tail. But besides that, let them do their thing. Let them take their time. And like I said, typically I like to just do more baths. More baths usually help the shed come off a little easier and with less problems. Well, guys, that's about it. If you have any questions or concerns, you can reach me on my Facebook page. It's Webe Reptiles. And please request my personal page, not my business page, because I never checked that one. Well, again, hope you guys enjoyed the video and you learned something. I hope you did.